Gather around. It's time for the show to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Hey everyone, my name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's WRE Josen.
Alright, there were so many matches this year that were just too much.
So this won't be a shocker because we've had a handful of really awesome matches that we just can't stop talking about.
How many times have these guys fought? Like it's been quite a bit.
I've been saying this all year. They're just so great to watch. We saw the heel turn coming, and then when it happened, nice and bloody, both dramatic and beautiful.
You are now entering the ring with Shoots and Ladders podcast.
Shoots and Ladders, WrestleMania Night 1 review. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hey friends, it's WRE Josen.
Okay, we made it. We are here at WrestleMania. This was absolutely a fun spectacle. What are your initial thoughts, Des?
Well, I'm exhausted, and I'm not even wrestling. It's just staying up for Hall of Fame, and then 9 hours of the pre-show, WrestleMania, and the after show, and then we have to do it again today. I'm so excited. It was so good, and it was a good start to the weekend.
Absolutely. And then real quick, what did you think about like the set design, like some of the entrances because they usually go all out for Manias?
Yeah, I thought the set design was really cool, very Vegas. I was actually quite jealous when I realized that there were seats on the actual stage. And then I looked up the prices and I was like, okay, I'm not so jealous. But I thought that was really, really cool. The entrances obviously are going to be over the top, and some of them were like part of my favorite parts of night one.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do the actual recap with our grades. First match, we had this right in the order, and I'm so thankful that this was the first match to set WrestleMania off. Gunther versus Jey Uso. I already think I know what you're going to say for grade-wise, but give it to me.
I thought this was awesome, and I didn't know if he was actually going to walk through the crowd either, because I was like, it's so big and so crazy, and I'm so glad he did. So it got the crowd pumped. That was the best way to start the show, is by yeeting. And I loved it all. I loved how even Gunther, this is one thing I was telling my mom when we were watching it. I was like, I love how gracious Gunther is when he's with his opponent, even with losing. Yeah. And I'm so happy it ended the way it did. And I loved that he used Gunther's sleeper the way he did on Jimmy when he watched him. So I thought that was just great payback. And Jay, this was his time. I'm so glad they went this way. I would have been livid if they didn't have Jay win. And this was an A match for me.
1000%, definitely an A. The other cool thing too, I like to reflect on where some of the wrestlers were last minute as compared to this year's. Last year, it set it off, right? Because he obviously spun off on his own. It's tricky, especially if you have a twin brother.
Yeah.
To split them up. Yeah, that's easy. That's not an easy thing to do. And he just steamrolled from last Mania to this Mania. And they went with it. And we always talk about strike while the iron's hot. I'm glad they did. I'm just like you. Absolutely A match. I just saw earlier that he's the fourth Anoa in the family to claim a title, to claim the world title. And, listen, to him, his twin brother, to the entire family, and obviously Rikishi, how cool of a moment was this? And yeah, absolutely, I'm ready for the Yeet era to begin.
Absolutely. And what was crazy, I was watching the pre-show, and even though the crowd and the fans were all over, we were wanting Jay to win it was like a no-brainer to us. The odds were against him just because of Gunther's record, and I completely forgot how crazy insane Gunther's is, and he's only lost maybe at the most 3 times since he's been with WWE. And I was like, well, either way, Jay's got it.
Absolutely. No, for sure. No, it's actually a very good point. They think the world of Gunther. They were probably going to set up this angle for other matches, for other PLEs this year, which was the right way, which is the right thing to do. So, All right. So going on to the next match, War Raiders versus New Day. Before we were doing our preview, we didn't really think that much of the match. How do you think this match fared?
They actually proved me a little wrong because I came in saying, this will be a good filler. We already knew the New Day with them with their recent heel turn. It only made sense for them to win, which I'm glad they did. However, the War Raiders actually kind of really impressed me because I sat there and I was like, oh my God, they're actually pretty good. And who was it? Ivar. He is flexible with his backflips and cartwheels, and I loved it. And in true heel fashion with the New Day, how they won and then they take off running up the ramp like little cowards. I loved it. So it wasn't terrible. It was better than I thought it would be. So I would give it like a B.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it a B too. I'm kind of with you. I think it's cool that they basically shed the whole cartoonish gimmick. Yeah. And I think it kind of seems like this is who they naturally are. Somewhere in between like bikers and just maybe like, Southern gentlemen or however you want.
They kept calling them Vikings and I don't know what they are.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, we talked about how the tag team division for Raw isn't the best, but you know what? Hey, this shows some promise. But yeah, I'm glad that New Day got it.
Yeah.
I think New Day is going to have a pretty lengthy run, but yeah, I'll give this a B match, a B grade as well.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let's roll to the next match. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. We kind of had pretty high expectations of this match. Did you think those expectations were met?
Yes and no. I'm going to say this. For the most part, the flow of night one was fairly quick until we got to the last two, which made complete sense. So that's why I was like, whoa, these matches are a lot shorter and we're flowing right through this. Not unless I was just having a good time and, time was flying. But I liked what I saw. It was basically what we expected. I did like Jade's entrance with the Weather Channel kind of theme and her walking in with the storm. I'm really loving Naomi as a heel. I'm so glad that she's a bad girl and embracing it because that nice girl gig was getting pretty old. But yeah, there was some really cool spots. Jade catching Naomi twice and then with that vertical suplex and that really awesome power bomb. But yeah, it was exactly how we expected. Even though I wanted Naomi to win just to throw off everyone, I'm glad Jade did in the end. And who knows, that's going to open up some more for her.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Well, actually, what grade would you give this match?
You know what? I'll give it a B+.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and give it a B. I liked it. I kind of wish there was a little bit more. Like, I was kind of expecting more of a hardcore match. I think that would have been the better way to go. I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. Again, we kind of had high expectations of this match. I don't know if it met those expectations per se, but it wasn't a bad match by any means. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it a B. All right. Next match, we got LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. We thought this match was going to set off fireworks. I loved every single second of this match. What about you?
I loved it from start to finish. It was just so much fun. I love these two because they are so in character, and it's just so fun to watch Jacob be all crazy and having his spasms, and then LA Knight comes out with a Maserati, and it was just super, super cool. I loved how powerful they are in the ring. I think they have really great chemistry.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
They're very they work complementary.
They work very well together, which is very impressive because I don't think they've actually had a match before.
I know they've had some promos. They may have had some head-to-head, but I don't. Either way, they worked amazing. I loved how Jacob was hitting the ribs at the top rope, and it was just like a powerhouse show. I loved it, and we knew that Jacob Fatu was going to get put over, and it was so great. That's only going to elevate LA Knight. So I'm going to give it an A match.
Yeah, 100% A match. I'm going to make a pretty bold declaration. I think one of these guys could be getting a world heavyweight championship match very soon. I wouldn't be surprised between now and next Mania, one of them ends up winning the title.
I would say both are really good contenders.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Jacob Fatu is hot right now. Crowd loves him. He by far has ascended solo. He's an actual main eventer. I think he's being put over the way they wanted Solo to go over. It just didn't work out, and I think Jacob Fatu is absolutely going to just run with this.
He's amazing, and I love that Haku, my good friend, came out to see him. And I mentioning Solo, this could open up a program between both of them, maybe starting a feud of jealousy with them. I don't know, but either way, Fatu is hot. He's on fire.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Now we're going to roll to the next match, Rey Phoenix versus El Grande. We didn't really think much of this match. What did you think of this match?
Well, I have a couple of thoughts here. I don't think that if you are in WrestleMania, you should be physically in the ring the week before on Raw and SmackDown. I think you can show face, do a promo, maybe do a little push here and there, but I don't think you should be physical, which is exactly what happened to Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. He got a groin injury and was not cleared and was told the day of that he could not compete. So funny enough, Rey Phoenix takes over. I kind of I'm like, he just got signed. I get it. People were excited, but I'm like, really? You get a Mania match after a month coming in? Come on now. Mm-hmm. But, it was a lucha match. It was with El Grande, Chad Gable. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I walked in saying this is a filler. This is not going to be fun. And I found myself laughing and having a good time watching it. They put on a good show. It was fun to watch some flips, and I love how the commentators would sit there and call out, say it's Chad Gable, it's Grande Americano. I even saw in the comments, I can't wait to watch El Grande Americano versus Chad Gable. So it was all right. The flying headbutt with the metal in his mask, that was fun to see. So, you know what? I give it a B. It was entertaining.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll go to B. We're in Mania mode. We're gonna be nice. This is like Christmas Day, so we're not gonna be mean. Yeah, no, it was B. It wasn't bad. It was okay. We knew it was gonna be a filler. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm kind of with you. It definitely wasn't a Mania match. I get it. Listen, I love Chad Gable. I mean, they just gotta get rid of. They have to get rid of these gimmicks because they're just silly, and they do no justice for him as a wrestler.
I look at it. It's like Kurt Angle. It's another homage to him. I don't know, but I look at it this way. What opened my eyes to maybe why they put this in was because of them buying AAA for the Lucha for wrestling. So that made sense to grab attention from that audience and from that fan base to be like, hey, they're putting a Lucha match, or they have more of this kind of community here at WWE. So I feel like that may have been why they put that in.
Fair enough. No, that's actually a very valid point. I didn't think about it like that, but no, that's actually very valid. Again, it was solid.
It was a bad.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Rolling into a potential match of the night. I mean, wow. Our girl Tiffany versus Charlotte. Again, I loved every second of this match. What about you?
I loved it. My favorite entrance was Tiffany's Barbie entrance. Yes. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, it's Barbie's dream house. And then she got to dress up as Barbie in different ones. I loved it. So I was already excited there. And then, of course, Charlotte comes out with her Rolls Royce. And what made me mad, I was like, Tiffany should have been last because she's the champion. So I felt like she should have came out last compared to them too. Oh. But yeah, it was a really good match. It flowed well. It got me a couple of times where I was like, oh no, are they actually going to let Charlotte win? It got me. It had me on my toes where I was like, these counts are getting very close. These are like 2.5 hits. No. And they had some really awesome spots. That moonsault where Tiffany hit the knees. Those ribs of hers, I bet were on fire. Both are gymnasts. So, of course, they are going to be flipping around, and they put up a good, solid match. And I'm glad Tiffany retained. I was already ready celebrating, but they had me on my toes thinking. So they did a fantastic job. That was an A match.
Yeah, gonna give it an A. Could very easily be match of the night. Some of these other matches are strong too, so it's gonna be tough. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely the best women's match of the year
Absolutely. So far, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the best. And tonight, if the other world title match,
the triple threat.
Yeah, the triple threat, if that can be anywhere close to this, I mean, wow, 5-star. But yeah, the Barbie thing, I mean, come on. Listen, again, this all goes back to the person that's running the show. I think Triple H by far knows creative way better than anybody else. And I just, again, I'm not saying that this was specifically his idea, but at the end of the day, he has to check off everything, and like whoever came up with the idea, I mean, hats off. I mean, like, because Barbie, when the movie came out, people were flipping out, and why not take advantage of it? So hats off, and I love that entrance too.
Tiffany called it during the after show her Tiffany epiphany.
Aw,
how cute is that?
Yeah, right. I mean, listen, it's probably her dream come true. I mean, what girl wouldn't want that type of entrance?
Hey, I was jumping up and down and super jealous, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. All right. Last, definitely not least. Wow. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. We had really high expectations of that. I think it exceeded those expectations, which is saying a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And all right, yeah, so what do you got?
Let's start with the entrances. How cool were they with Seth coming in with his garbage bag? I'm pretty sure it was like flame retardant, so he could, not light himself on fire. And then of course he changes. I thought that was kind of a metaphor from black to white. That was his changing of the heel turn kind of thing, kind of predicting that. And with Roman coming out with his lineage in the background, I thought that was really cool. And of course, CM Punk with Paul and Living Color. That was the second time he had them. And that was when he was also walking out with Paul Heyman, 12 years ago, 10 years ago, I think. So that was really neat. But this exceeded what I thought. These three have such a history. Start to finish, great storytelling, such a great flow. They had us on our toes, and I was going back and forth. I was like, I don't even care who wins at this point. Yeah. This is amazing.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
No. I loved watching Paul in the corner because I'm like, he's up to something. We know it, and I couldn't help but keep my eyes on him. But when he was grabbing that chair, I was like, he's going to give it to Seth as soon as he held it. But then I was like, no, he gave it to Punk. And then that whole section of that match was so fun to watch. And I mean, we knew it. We knew something was coming with Seth, and I saw it on Hall of Fame. Paul and Seth were sitting next to each other, and I remember saying, there's something going on there. Yeah. So, I mean, it was amazing. I loved it. The finishers back to back, that running spear into a pedigree. Oh my God. Amazing. A+.
Yeah, 100% A+. That could have been a spot of the year for sure.
Yeah.
This is already going to be, this is going to be talked about for match of the year. And when we do our end of the year recap, I'm already calling right now. We're in April.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, A+++ for sure. You already said it best, but yeah, listen, what a way to end night one. That is for sure.
So good. And can I predict maybe Seth and Paul teaming up with Cena and Rock?
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Maybe.
All right, listen, I'm going to throw out 2 bonus questions. Okay, what was your favorite entrance of the night?
Barbie, Tiffy time.
Yeah, I think
hands down.
Yeah, and again, the CM Punk, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, like that's like up there. But yeah, I just thought that was such a brilliant thing for Barbie. Okay, for sure. And then match of the night, who do you have one?
Yeah. It's going to be the triple threat. Yeah. I loved it. That my eyes were wide open and I could not stop yelling at the TV. So yeah.
For sure. Down. That match, like if we're doing that in ratings, I'm giving that a 99. I'm giving the Tiffy Charlotte Flair 98.
They're right behind them.
Yeah, it's not by much. It really isn't. So yeah, overall, I think we're both going to agree that this is an A+ event.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right, and listen, let's find out what's going to happen for night 2. I mean, technically, unless we do an A++, it can't be better. But if it does, I mean, wow, that's saying a lot.
You know what? I'm going to say it. We already said it in our predictions that night 2 was going to be the better night. And this one was a good night. However, I was re-looking over the match card. Oh, I'm so excited. Night 2 is going to be amazing.
Absolutely. All right, that actually wraps up this episode. What were your thoughts on night 1? Please DM us at The Chutes and Ladders. Like always, please like, share, and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Josen.
All right, until night 2, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Bye, friends.
Chutes and Ladders. Follow us for more content